First of all, just want to say congratulations on an amazing piece of work. Absolutely incredible.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely incredible. So I just want to start. So obviously you've done a few previews. You had the premiere last week. What's been the response to the film so far?
Boys, everyone feels the same way about the ID. Like, I think this is the baddest film of the year, innit? I think it's one of a kind. I think it's the best of this genre by a million miles. And everyone says the same thing. Cause I've been saying it for months, but obviously it sounds like I'm just gassing my own film, but I know every time there's a screening, because every time there's a screening, I get 100 tweets saying the film's this and the film's that, and that's the best feeling. Yeah. Like, the best feeling is that the people that I made it for the people who love it the same way I do, man. It's just been mad.
I think we were just in the green room a minute ago, and we could hear when the film finished because we could hear you guys cheering outside.
It's always sad because they're cheering, the energy's mad. I reckon it could go on for ages, but then the next scene comes in, and it's like, oh, we've already cheered, so we can't really cheer no more. So we lose the momentum. But other than that, though, we heard it because we know every moment that the crowd's going to react to by now. Every crowd reacts to the same moment,
absolutely,
which is good. So.
So tell us a little bit about how the story for Blue Story came about, and why was this important for this to be your next project after SHIRO'S story?
Well, the story came about, I wrote this as a YouTube short in 2013. I put out part 1, and people liked it, so I've done part 2 and a part 3. And it was just a trilogy on YouTube, 60 minutes altogether, and all the comments underneath the video was like, this should be a movie, this should be a movie. I was like, yeah, man, this could be a movie, you know? I don't know how to write a movie, you know. I've never wrote a film them times before, so I remember calling up one brother that I know that's a writer, and I was like, yeah, I've got a thing, can you write it? And he's like, yeah, 30 grand. I was like, what? I ain't got no 30 grand. Hanged up that phone quickly. I said, nah, I've got to do this myself, because I can't be paying 30 grand to some random brother. So I remember I started writing it on words.
Right.
And that was a nightmare. It was just taking so long, because I typed super slow anyway. Right. So I was just struggling. I was like, this can't be it. Every writer can't write films like this. Like, I'm doing bare spaces in the middle to put Timmy in the middle, then space in the middle to put Timmy. Like, I'm just thinking, this can't be right. And then I spoke to a friend whose dad's a writer, and he said, you need final draft.
Right.
I was like, cool, how can I get that? And he said, you can give me a discounted second-hand version. He gave me one discounted version, and it was so much easier. Like, everything was in place, the characters' names were in place, and what I had to do was just write the story out. So I just done it over the space of 6 months, just in my own time. Remember, them times no one weren't checking for me. This was before SHIRO'S story and everything, so I was just rapping, bringing out videos, no pressure. So I just wrote it, as you know what, just to prove to myself I could write a film. And done it after 6 months. Done, and then never let no one read it for a year, because I didn't want no one to tell me it was whack. Right. Whereas I spent so long on it, I couldn't take someone telling me it was weak at the time, so I was like, I'm not even going to show it to no one. Then I sent it to my brethren after a year, and he loved it. He don't even read like that. Like, he said he loved it, he couldn't stop reading it, and then, next thing you know, man, like, we put it out there. Yeah. And the reason why, not SHIRO'S story, as much as I love SHIRO'S story, he got me into the position that I'm in now, that was more like a story just, you know, it was entertaining, but Blue Story was based on my childhood.
Oh, that's going to be my next question.
Yeah, it was based on my childhood. So, obviously, I'm from Deptford, innit? But Lewisham Borough. And I went to school in Camberwell, next door to Peckham. Like, I went to school with every single person from Peckham you think of, me, Giggs, and all of his brothers. We all went to the same school. And at that time, their area, my area, was in a massive, literally at the film, it was going off. It was crazy, like, at the time. But obviously, when I went there, my mum being a first-generation Nigerian, she don't know about all of that. I didn't even know about all of that. So I'm like Timmy, just going to school with my brethren, and then one day, as we're getting older, to the later years of secondary, they've all kind of trained who they're with now. They're kind of following the older brother's footsteps, and they're kind of like Peckham boys, and they're running it. And all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy, because I don't live in that area, and I'm an outsider, and I shouldn't be. So literally, that was the story based on me. And there was other people from like New Cross and Deptford going to school in Peckham, so they could relate. I figured, maybe someone else can relate to this as well. That's why I thought the story was deep to me. So not all of the story is based on my life. Obviously, I'm sitting here, and Timmy's not sitting here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But all the scenes are based on real experience. So if I didn't see a scene myself, it was a scene that my friend would call me and say, you missed it, this is just what happened. Yeah. Or it's something I know what happened, but I just wasn't there. So every scene is based on reality. There wasn't no scene on that film that's from fiction. It's just, I just didn't experience them all firsthand.
Can you tell us about an experience that you had that actually made the film?
The bus. You know when the two boys back on the bus and the 50 brothers come up?
Yeah.
Brother, that was my life there. That was me. I literally wrote that from my memory clean. Like, I remember coming back from school and I'm on the back of the bus. I'm in one corner, my other friend's on the other corner, and I'm looking out the window and I see bare guys running towards the bus, and I'm telling my friend, like, right, there's a bag of people coming on the bus. He's like, oh, maybe they won't come up. Before he could finish that sentence, we had the same footsteps coming up. And my heart was just pounding, beating. I'm thinking, this is crazy. You ain't nowhere to go. Unless you're ready to hang drop from the back of the bus. There's nowhere to go. You're trapped in it. So luckily, one of the older gang members, they were Peckham. They were all from Peckham at the time. One of them just said, no, they look like youngers, leave them. Right. I'll never forget that. I don't know who he is, but I love him to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever he is, God bless him. I hope he's fine. And yeah, so that brother there, he just spared our lives, man. And he just stuck with me. So when I was writing this film, I said, that's going in there, man. That was going in there. Other than that, what I was seeing was, bang on, the fights with Timmy and Marco in the playground. Yeah, that was, me and a good friend, that was like my Marco, we got into a big fight. There's so many things that come from reality for me. What else was there? The whole sitting there and then a group of guys turn up and you have to run off because you're outnumbered. That's kind of normal growing up in South London. It's just all based on true experiences, really.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about filmmaking. So obviously, best known for a lot of people, you're best known for SHIRO'S story. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to know about the difference that it took to make something like SHIRO'S story to when it came to making something like Blue Story. Can you talk us, how was that different for you?
Right, SHIRO'S story was, it was intense. It was really intense, but we was doing it at our own speed, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had a little crew of 6 or people, and part 1 was just out of my own pocket, just my own money. I paid the actors a small little change, and my DOP's a friend of mine, so he always kind of works on whatever I can give him. And we done it with no pressure. It was fine. We didn't expect nothing from it. Obviously, after number 1, and everyone wanted more. Yeah. Number 2, we kind of got financial backing, so we had a little bit of restriction, but it wasn't major. We still could do whatever we want. Whereas Blue Story, we only had 23 days. And it was hard to do that in 23 days because originally it was 6 weeks, a 6-week schedule that got cut down to 23 days for whatever reason. And it was hard, man. We're losing daylight all the time because we scheduled this as a 6-week shoot. Then all of a sudden we get told we get 23 days. That's like, what? That's 3 weeks, you know, bro. Like that one, that's not a lot. Like we done SHIRO'S story part 3 in 5 days. Yeah. So if we got 5 days to do like a little 30-minute thing, you're gonna give me 23 days to do that. Cause originally this was like a 2-hour film at one point. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard, man. It was hard. It was proper intense. But I was ready. Like, I was ready, and all the cast was new. It was a lot of the crew's first features. Because it was everyone's first feature, everyone had that adrenaline. So when we're meant to be getting tired, we're still working, and we're still going. And the cast, they gelled together so well. And it was all trying to impress. Remember, everyone was new. Even though you see Michael Ward and Kadeen from Top Boy, at this time, he just finished Top Boy, and a week later, they've gone into this. So they're still, nothing they've done is out. No one knows who they are. They're brand new, and they're thinking, I just want to do as good a job as I've done in Top Boy, and my last thing and whatever. So every actor is new, trying to work. So because they're all trying to impress, they had that hunger. I had that hunger, because I'm thinking, nah, my first feature film's got to be a statement. So we put in crazy hours, man. It was hard, but the passion was more important than, you get me?
Can you just tell everyone when you wrapped this film? When did you stop filming this film?
Oof, when did we start filming that?
You told me, and I was
we started in March.
And when did you finish like filming it?
April, somewhere in April, early April.
You finished it in April, and it's out in November.
And
that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's
that was a testament to my editor. Big up Indemary, he's in there somewhere. Indemary, put your hand up for the people, man. Where are you? There he is, right there.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else who worked on the film that's here?
Hey, I know we got Madder in here. We got Gallus in here. Where are you? Stand up. There they are at the back. We got Joy, my producer, in here as well. You get me? We got a few people in here. I don't know if I've missed you because I don't know you're in here. But like, it wasn't like, you need a good editor. Yeah. And I didn't realize how vital it was until I started working with Indemary, who I've never worked with before. But certain times when I think, remember, we're working on someone else's money. Yeah. So, you know, they want certain things changed, and I don't want to change certain things, and I don't understand what they're saying to me about changing this. But he could always be in between. He understood what they said, and he understood what I wanted, and he's super talented. So, yeah, big up Indemary for making things run smooth, man.
Definitely. one thing you said was about your first feature being a statement, and I'm just going to go back to SHIRO'S story because there's a very, very bit of exciting news about the BFI and what they're doing with SHIRO'S story. You've actually donated that to the BFI archive.
Yeah.
So that's actually going to be part of the archive, which is
that's
incredible.
dope.
Well, congratulations. But
basically, for those who don't know what that means, if Link Up TV ever crashes, we're still good. You can still watch SHIRO'S story somewhere. And YouTube pages disappear these days. It's not even guaranteed no more if it's on YouTube no more.
Absolutely.
So yeah, big up BFI for that. I appreciate that, man.
That's incredible. So I just want to talk about one of my favourite scenes in the film is when Madders and Timmy are in the car and they're talking about their grief and their trauma in such a vulnerable way. And I thought that was something that you rarely see two men, especially two black men, actually have that conversation. So how important was that for you to include in the scene?
It was super important because what they're going through would affect anyone. There's a lot of PTSD with what they're going through. Yeah. And grief is crazy. Like grief, it can change a person, man. So that's why they bonded. That was the thing that brought them together. That's why Madder loved him like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? So, and I wanted them to touch on what they've been through without being obvious. Like, I remember we done an edit and I remember BBC being like, you sure that it's clear enough? Maybe we should do more. I said, look, trust me, that's enough. Like anyone can see between the lines what's going on there. Yeah. And I think it was important because when do you see two such powerful characters that to the outside world, they're feared, they're intimidating to others, they're confident, like they're warriors really, but when they're alone, just to spark the conversation, it started so subtly, and Timmy was just ready to really start letting it go, but then Madder kind of dismissed it, not on purpose, but it started getting a bit uncomfortable for him as well. Maybe he didn't want to reveal what he's really done, and it's just awkward, and that's what it is between men. Like, it's hard for another man to speak to a man and say, you know what, I'm feeling like this, it's hard. Like, you might start, and then if that friend of yours is not reciprocating in a way that makes you feel comfortable, you just try it down and you go back into your shell. Yeah. So I wanted people to see that, maybe that might spark a conversation between men now. Who knows, man, hopefully.
Definitely. What's the one thing you want people to take away from this film?
So many things, man. I want people to see that every headline that you see of these people with knives and shootings and stabbings in the article, they all didn't come from people, unloving Satan mothers, and they wasn't all devil spawns. Sometimes the decisions that they made got them there. I just want people to know the decisions that you made, the relationships that you keep, when you keep things bottled up inside, this is the results, man. Like, you gotta choose your circles wisely. You gotta make sure your relationships are healthy, because there was a big lack of male role models in this film. Like, you didn't see any dads in this film, And I'm not saying with a dad there makes everything perfect, but imagine if there was someone to give Marco a better guidance, other than just the older brother forcing him to just join the life. Yeah. And Timmy, the one day he did try to talk to Madder didn't really know what to do. Timmy's dad's not alive no more. They just did it. They just needed guidance. So if you know how a kid can go from A all the way to extreme to B, maybe you can meet somewhere in the middle and get them before they get to that extent now. So now you can see how you can get caught up. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You really gotta work, man. Like, that got instilled in me by my dad, man. All I ever used to hear from him was telling me, don't be lazy, you can't be lazy. So I always just overworked. Like, when I was going through what I was going through to get to this position, I was getting slept on for a while. No one didn't really want to hear me, but I believed in myself. So I think if you believe in what you want to do, you got to keep on going. Like, it's going to get hard. You're going to want to quit. But if it's your passion, you won't be able to stop. You're going to have to keep on going. 100%. So, you got to love what you do. And if you love what you do, you will never quit. Keep going. Oh, yeah, well, I'm going to America for a bit. I've got a show I'm doing out there. So I'll be out there for a while. But I wanted to give the world something. I wanted to give the UK something classic, because I don't feel like we've had a classic film from this world before. So I wanted to give that before I went, because they wanted me to go beforehand, to be honest. But I said, no, I want to finish off the film. So, yeah, man, this is my gift to the UK. I'm going to be in the States for a bit, but I'll be back. Yeah, everyone thought I was crazy that I didn't want to continue on SHIRO'S story, because SHIRO'S story had such a viral impact. But I knew just deep down that this thing would bring something different, that this script was deeper, because I got offered money to do a SHIRO'S story movie, got offered money to do a Shower Story TV show. More money than I got offered for this film as it goes. And but you know when you just know, like you just have to know yourself and you have to know what you've written, man. And I knew that this script here, it would hit harder than anything I could have done next. Don't get it twisted, I'll probably go back to Shower Story later on in life, but right now, I just knew, man, and it was a pressure because if this film would have ended that week, everyone would have just said, nah, man, Shower Story was better. You should have just stayed doing Shower Story. Nah, man, you just should stick to YouTube. So it was bare pressure because everyone didn't know if I could adapt what I could do to the big screen. And you don't get respect in the film industry from what you do on YouTube. Like, you can do this on YouTube, but you're always like, well, you haven't done your first feature yet. Oh, he's not really a director. Oh, he's more of just a rapper. But I knew I could do just what any other filmmaker could do. So I wanted to, put my foot forward and try a ting. That's my ting there, you get me? In regards to the funding, after Shower Story came out, after part 3 came out, the trilogy was out, I was getting contacted from loads of networks, everyone. And then when someone just asked me, have you got anything else? I said, yeah, I've got this script here. And we had multiple studios like bidding, trying to get the film, you know what I'm saying? So I was blessed like that where I had options kind of thing at that point. And in regards to community work, I wish I could say yeah, I was, but I've just finished working on this film. Yeah. Like, it's been a long period. Like, for me, I could go out there and donate and everything. I've got a good heart, man. I'll try to help people, but I feel like the best way to help people is to do things like this. Like, 100%. Giving something like this is my work into community in the sense of look at it, because you can bring a brother that's caught up in this life to come watch this, and they might front like they don't mean nothing to them, but it's going to stay with them. They're going to feel something watching this. So definitely. I feel like what my man said before, art is the way, and if you got art, use that to push the community, you know what I'm saying? See, when I cast Blue Story, it was just going through Spotlight and all the agents, the top list agents, and I had to beg and say, you know what, can we just put something on Instagram? Like, can I cast it through socials, because there's bare talent out there that I've not with agents. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I always wanted new characters, new art. And Stephen, who plays Timmy, he got the role through my Instagram, through what he done. He saw the part on Instagram, begged his agent, who was low-level agent, like she's a nice woman, but she was really low in the rankings kind of thing, and just said, look, can we please just audition? And look, he came in with hardly he had no credits to his name. Like, this is his biggest job easily, and look at what he's done. Now he's a star now. He's about to be a star. So like, I always fight to give unknowns a break. So just, if you follow me on Instagram, just look out for castings, man. Because when you saw Kelly come out, you were surprised. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want no one to think I've seen it on YouTube. I don't need to see it again. Like, I will never do something predictable. I wrote that 6 years ago. Things have changed now, man. I wanted to layer it up. I didn't want it to, it's based still on that. But I wanted people because there is some people that did watch that, that it had a couple million views. I didn't want them to feel like they knew what was going to happen. Like, was you expecting Madder to, I don't want no one to predict what's going to happen in any of my things. I'm on some Game of Thrones business, but no one's safe, no character is safe. Like, you get me? We're changing up storytelling now.
I'm just gonna finish up with one last question, and it's a big one. You talk about your films want to be statements, but I wanted to know, like, in 10 years' time, what would you want your legacy to be? You seem like the guy who'd thought that.
Brother, I want to go down as the greatest, man. Right. I'll be real. I want to be like how we talk about Scorsese and Tarantino, where Ryan Coogler's heading with, like, I want to be like, there's a Rapman film out. Like, you don't even know what the film's called. It's just there's a Rapman film, so we must go see that. Amazing. That's what I want. Amazing. Like, that's why I'm always maintaining the quality. That's why I couldn't answer my man's question, because I don't know what I'm doing next. But it has to hit me. A story has to hit me so much, I would do anything to get it made. And if it doesn't do that, I'm not just writing just for a check. It's got to be a statement. So I want to go down as the greatest, man. I want to be the greatest. Like, I feel like this storytelling thing is, I've been practicing it for a while, got it kind of down now, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to elevate, keep on doing it at different stages.
So obviously everyone enjoyed the film. Go out, tell your friends.
Yeah, please. I was getting added in videos on here of people Snapchatting the scenes. So beg, just be a good guy and just delete the scenes, man. Just delete the scenes. No one likes people that spoil things. And you lot came out for today, and I appreciate that. Just spread the word, man. Just spread the word, because the fact is, though, as good as the film we all think it is, most people think it is probably in here, if it don't do well at the box office, anyone in here who wants to make a film coming up next, the studios won't give you no money to do it. Because they're seeing if Rapman can come with a big buzz and still not do it, the stories don't have an audience, they don't come out for the film, so we're not going to fund that. So it's deeper than just give Rapman a hit box office film. If like, the next generation of filmmakers will not get through, because they've done the promo, you've seen it on the buses, you've seen it on every... So if we don't come out, they're going to say, look, they done everything and they didn't get the money.
Of course.
So spread the word, tell them to go watch it. Opening weekend is important, it comes out on Friday. And no spoilers, but tell the world if you loved it, and if you didn't like it, keep it to yourself.
Absolutely.
Done.
Absolutely.
You hear me?
Give it up for Rapman.
Thank you, Joe.